Hey folks, I'm Walter, and I got a great question the other day about how do hurricanes affect cruising, because they booked a cruise and then they realized it's hurricane season, so how does that affect it? So let's talk about hurricanes and cruising. Now before we talk about the hurricane, just a reminder, please subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell icon so that you know when we've got new episodes, and thank you so much for your support. Well, we sailed during Hurricane Irma, which was a Category 5 hurricane in the Caribbean. I'll talk about that experience later, but here's some of what you should know about hurricane season and cruises. Now, first of all, the official hurricane season in the United States is June 1 through November 30th. That is the entire window, with the Eastern Caribbean generally being more active, say June to September, and then the Western Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico generally September through November. All the cruise lines have a professional weather center. I mean, they got their own meteorologists, they've got other professionals, and they work 365, not just during hurricane season, and they are there to help assist and make sure that all the ships are operating safely, and if there's going to be a major weather event, either in their path or where they're going, they can alter course accordingly. Are cruises canceled because of a hurricane? Actually, it's rare. It's rare that a cruise is completely canceled due to a hurricane. Now, one of a couple of things generally happen. Let's say if the hurricane is due to hit the home port, where the ship is supposed to end and then start the next cruise, the ship might be left out at sea for a couple of extra days, so the people who are on that cruise are going to get a couple of extra days on the ship. We call that extra hurricane cruise. And then when it is safe to do so, the ship will come into port, and then the next cruise will have been shortened by however many days it took that ship to come in. The ship will not sit in port during a storm, because that is actually the most dangerous place for it to be. When it is out at sea, it can maneuver around and get away from the storm. If the hurricane or the tropical storm is in the path of your itinerary, you can fully expect that to change. I mean, sometimes it's as simple as a swap. You're supposed to go to the Eastern Caribbean, they'll swap you over to the West, or if you're supposed to be on the West, they'll swap you to the East just to keep you away from the weather. Alternatively, your itinerary could just get changed. So you're still going to do an Eastern Caribbean, but you might visit some different ports, or they may drop a port and give you sea days. Or you may even just reverse the order of the itinerary so that you stay away from the bad weather. Basically, the cruise line and the captain are going to do everything in their power to not only keep you away from the storm itself, but also to keep you away from the effects of the storm, which does include very high waves. And when those big waves come in, you definitely start to feel it. And they do want to minimize the discomfort of passengers. So that's why sometimes you'll say, well, gee, the storm is way over here. Why are we way over there? It's just to keep you away from the actual effects, especially the large waves that can cause a lot more seasickness on the ships. Now, if your itinerary is altered in any way, well, then it's very possible that you're not going to get the port stop that you originally planned on. So does the cruise line offer you a refund because, hey, I'm not getting the cruise I booked? No, because you signed a contract when you booked your cruise that basically says the cruise line can alter your itinerary at any time before the cruise and even once the ship leaves the home port. It can be altered at any time. You signed that contract when you booked it, whether you realize it or not. Now, if your cruise is shortened in any way, yes, you will get a refund for the days that you didn't get to sail. But if you take the cruise line does not owe you any more compensation unless your cruise was shortened. So our experience with Hurricane Irma, this was a big monster Cat 5 hurricane that decimated the Caribbean. Our anniversary is in September, so we always cruise during hurricane season. So our cruise was on the Celebrity Equinox sailing out of Miami. I want to say it was September 4th, 2017. We left Miami. We were due to arrive in St. Thomas on September 6th, 2017, the same day that Hurricane Irma decimated that island. So what did we do? We made a straight run south to Curacao. We basically got under the hurricane. Curacao was not on our original itinerary, but that's what they did to get us away from the storm. And then we came back up north into the Caribbean, basically following Irma at a safe distance. And the weather was spectacular. It was the craziest thing. We had the best weather, I swear, we've ever had on a cruise, where we were behind Irma, but then we actually had Maria behind us. So it was a 9-day cruise. We missed St. Thomas and St. Martin because unfortunately they got hit really, really hard. But we went to Curacao, and I believe we swapped one other port, and we had a full 9-day cruise no problems at all. The only thing we didn't know was whether we were going to come back into Port Miami, because it was closed right up until we came up, and they opened it, I think, something like 10 hours before we came in, so we even came back on time. The captain came on every single morning and gave us a hurricane report. We knew exactly where the storm was, we knew where we were in relation to the storm, and they were just keeping us really well informed, so we knew what was going on. But I mean, the oceans were just so smooth. It was beautiful sunshine, and they did a fantastic job. So even sailing during one of the biggest Cat 5 hurricanes to hit in recent history, we had an absolutely pleasant cruise. So we do not hesitate to go ahead and sail during hurricane season, because we know that the ships will alter their course. And you know, a lot of seasoned cruisers like to sail during hurricane because we're actually hoping that we might get an extra sea day or two. Like, you know, maybe the port is going to be closed for a couple days, so we're going to be stuck out at sea with free cruise days. You do not get charged for those extra days. So if you end up being stuck on a ship for a day, 2 or 3, that's free cruising. So there's some of the things you should know about hurricane season and cruising. And what about you? Do you sail during hurricane season? Are you kind of like us? You know, you're kind of hoping that, hey, maybe we'll get some extra sea days on the ship, which would be amazing. Hey, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and hit that little bell icon so that you know when we've got more videos up on the channel. Are hurricanes canceled due to cruises? Yes, they are. Hurricanes are always canceled because of a cruise. No, you cannot come here.